stocks, this where you get that. So go and grab you a nice chair. It's time to sit back and talk to profit. Hey, hey, you talking to the prophet. Hey, hey.
I believe that I just heard that we were kicking Kenny and 8Baller out of the main room. That is not true. We appreciate them stepping in for a few minutes to hang out with you guys, and what an opportunity to hang out with them tonight for their schmooze. Awesome opportunity you guys should take advantage of. I believe there's even an email pin there for you guys. But right now it's time to flip the script into the cryptocurrency sector with Nick Black. We're bringing this guy in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Pew, 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 pew. But everyone, say good morning. You just heard him, the wonderful honey-laden voice of Brerick. Say hello, Brerick.
Hello, this is Eric speaking. How's everyone doing today? Fantastic. Good.
All right. Welcome to Alternative Wealth Daily Live, where we make you all wealthy and rich beyond your wildest dreams. A few weeks ago, remember when we talked about, like, what is your exit number? We talked about this yesterday. I was doing a little stream. Eric, Brerick, Brandrick, what is your exit number? If you had a number to walk away from finance, to walk away from what's your walk away number? And I want to see people in the chat. What is your I'm done, a realistic number? Don't say $1 trillion.
Do you ever really walk away though, or do you always keep a little bit in trying to do some work for you? Like, do you mean completely walking away?
I have a number. I have a walk away number. I have a deuce. I wouldn't even walk away. I would deuce out.
Just, you would be gone.
You'd see my back, the bottom of my foot, and I would be like, giving you a hand gesture that wouldn't be that.
And that's the last time we ever see you.
That's it. What happened to Nick? Oh, he deuced out, bro.
What would mine be? To completely be out? I don't know.
To deuce out of finance, not crypto, not to deuce out of numbers. Be like, I'm out.
Yeah, well, I want to get that nice house. So let's say 5 or 6 million. I'd probably deuce out.
Man.
Yeah, I know you're anti-houses. I get it. I'm
anti-ownership.
I know you are.
Income, expenses, assets, liabilities, and cash flow.
What's yours? What's yours, Nick? What's your number? I mean, we have from the chat coming 2 million, 10 million, 5 million.
25 liquid.
25.
So not assets, right? Which incur liability.
Cash money.
25 liquid. Mm-hmm. But that's, I'm a high flyer. Let's see. In the chat, we've got a lot of 4s, a lot of 5s. I think that's a pretty good, depends on where you live, obviously. The closer to the coasts, the number goes up. But what's your number, Eric? What's your walk away?
Oh, I said my number. I probably 5 to 6 million.
5 to 6? I think that's a good number. My number used to be 7. And then COVID. Yeah. And then the government gave out about $4.5 trillion. Good news, everyone. Of that $4.5 trillion, about 4.1 trillion got sucked back up into the top 1%. So they'll do what's best with it. Trust me.
That's the thing, though. You have your number, but then when you start getting close to your number, you're like, well, I could make more, so maybe my number would change. I'm sure it would.
Maybe there is no number. Maybe the number is the lack of a number. But it is important to shoot for numbers, especially in the crypto space. So we're going to talk about we'll go through our headlines. We're going to talk Russian sanctions, Coinbase NFT marketplace. We'll talk about some interesting developments on the Cardano, some new things that are happening midsummer, and all those things are great. But in the background, as you're building your portfolios in wherever you build them and however you manage them, you should be looking at some point exiting some of your capital into a place where it makes more sense. Now, I have not sold crypto. One does not sell crypto before there's an actual crypto market. This isn't a real market yet. It's just doesn't even exist. Why? Because there's no institutional money in crypto. Not really. There's hedgy money. Remember, we have hedgies and insties. Hedgies step on people's throats in order to pump junk into your balance sheet so they can exit. Hedgies don't care. Hedgies are vultures. They're those mean velociraptors that escaped and eat everyone, and they don't care, and they leave nothing but death and destruction. Hedgies Okay. They don't care. VCs do not care about crypto. They don't care about technology. They care about nothing but skinning you alive. Period. Full stop. Which is good if you're an investor in a hedge facility or in a VC. You want that, right? That kind of psychopath mentality. But they don't care about the space. Hedge funds, they will not make crypto better. And VCs definitely will not make crypto better. Matter of fact, they'll sell anything to you. Anything. But at some point, this mixture between hedge funds, regulators, VCs, and Joe Sixpack like you and I investing in this space, which is there's a lot more access than there was like in the equity space. That's good. But as we all kind of play together in this weird playground and regulators do what they can and governments come in with their own versions of some kind of distributed assets, decentralized-ish, they won't really be decentralized, but government assets, the space gets a little bit safer and a little bit bigger. It absorbs more capital. And if there's any kind of staying power, then eventually we do have a fully formed market where institutional money comes in and the pension funds come in and the money markets and all that. And that's what we need for it to be a real market, but it's not a real market right now. And so that's good for everybody here. That's really good. That's why you have an opportunity to make like legitimately life-changing money. Like I would have still been working in the gold business and trying to be like a half-ass writer in LA were it not for the ridiculous kind of gains that I made in crypto. And, you know, if I thought it was over, we would not be talking right now. I would have booked it because I have enough money to book, like to go live somewhere normal, not LA. In LA, I'm like on the poverty line, right? You make $1 million a year here, you're on the poverty line, but anywhere else that would be good. But there's so much opportunity in crypto that I don't know where else to put my money. I have a buddy, he builds houses. He has, I don't know, probably 400 or 500 rental apartments in LA, which that's a lot. He probably got $100 million portfolio. And he's like, hey man, you know, have you ever thought, I'm like, why? There's nowhere else where the return potential presents itself like crypto. So, and Hot Rod, you're kind of right, but I think that's too simple. Crypto is not necessarily like .coms because .coms wasn't a new asset class. The crypto space, this is a new asset class, more similar to the bond market. And does anybody know, Eric, Brerick, you can answer, when the bond market started?
Nope.
You don't even think about it?
Well, I could Google search it and I could let you know.
Late 1600s, bro.
Yeah, way before my time, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, 1690s. Does anybody remember the 1690s? Raise your hand in the chat if you were here.
A lot of people were off, just saying. So it's not just me. You had a few in the 1600s.
No, several people. Scavenger nailed it, buddy. Let me see. Hot Rod nailed it. Dr. J basically nailed it. 1700s. Yes. So that's really what you want to look at. And you say, wow, that's like 300 and change years. Yes, this is the first new asset class since then. That's a big deal. And I don't think that's been appreciated yet. So at some point it will be. Anyway, that should be like the background, the context, the landscape to your decision making. So when you're looking at these assets, don't go, what are they going to be tomorrow or next week? Think to yourself, what are they going to be in 3 to 5 years when it's a real, actual, fully formed market with plenty of liquidity and not just vulture VCs and, you know, quasi scammy hedge funds, because most hedge funds don't last more than 7 years. They just get to where they manage a bunch of money, put a check in their back pocket, they blow up the fund, everybody gets nuked, and they just say, I'm out. They deuce out with money that you paid them in fees, and it is what it is. But if you do the research, you don't need those goons, which is important because you shouldn't need anyone. That's the beauty of crypto. Okay, so that's the landscape. So as we talk about this stuff, keep that in the back of your mind. Eric, should we start with Treasury sanctions? Yes.
Yeah. Listen, I'm right here with you, man. We're on the same page
wish you were.
today.
Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
Wish I was. It would be nice. But here we go. So we have our first headline. The U.S. Treasury sanctions Russian crypto miners, its first sanction on mining. So let's kind of dive into why this is here. By operating vast server farms that sell virtual currency mining capacity internationally, these companies help Russia monetize its natural resources, the Treasury announcement said. The U.S. is committed to ensuring that no asset, no matter how complex, becomes a mechanism for the Putin regime, to offset the impact of sanctions.
Okay. So why was this a big deal? Well, it's all part of that, this weird thing where money is no longer money if you're Russian or whatever. And forget the political stuff aside. It's interesting when governments wage kind of financial warfare. And this is a kind of financial warfare. And it's not like everybody loved Russia and just now we don't like Russia because of the current situation in Ukraine. Many countries have been looking for a way to step on Russia's neck for a long time. The problem is this goes a little bit further, and now we're getting into the kind of this weird landscape where, you know, if your last name rhymes with Russia, or even has, like, if you have some K's and V's and P's in the wrong place in your name, you're very liable to get your stuff shut down. So this is kind of interesting. Anyway, so the Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control added a Russia-based cryptocurrency miner BitRiver. They do mine a lot of Bitcoin. So they are, as well as 10 of their subsidiaries, to its specially designated nationals list, meaning now the same 3 or 4 rubes in Congress have been saying that, oh, crypto's going to try to, they're going to use crypto. The Russians are going to use it to evade sanctions. No, they're not, bro, because the whole market's barely $2 trillion. The whole market, all the assets, all 12,900 assets, all of it is not enough to fund Russia for about 3 months, right? So the whole argument that they're going to use crypto to evade, that's stupid. Now, what's happening is we're getting into the nitty-gritty of how many of these industry participants are now being affected by these sanctions. And look, sanctions, it's like a vandalism. It's easy to spray. It's easy to take a spray can and just go tag a building. It takes a lot longer to go and get the paint off. These sanctions have a way of sticking, all right? So according to the announcement shared with the block, this move is indicative of a broader push against Russia's cryptocurrency mining industry. By the way, a lot of Russians found their credit cards not working recently because they just turned off their credit cards. MasterCard,
all
Visa.
Russians?
If you were outside of Russia and your name was Russian or you were provably Russian, your stuff stopped working.
Wow.
Which is like, okay, I get it, but that's going a little bit too far. There's a certain point where, like, are we going to punish people that know Russian? Like, I know a Russian. Am I on the list because I know a Russian who lives here in Los Angeles? He seems like a nice guy, but I mean, his grandparents grew up in Russia. So I guess because he's 3 removed, anyway, but you see how these things can get out of control. So, let's see, basically the push against Russia's cryptocurrency mining industry, backed on pretty stupid information. The Treasury did not mention any particular association between BitRiver, which is the mining company, and the Putin regime, but that's because you don't have to have a connection now. All you need to do is just say Russia equals bad. And the problem is now, this is the wide brush, right? Okay, so by operating vast server farms that sell virtual currency mining capacity internationally, these companies, this is where you get, they help Russia monetize its natural resources. By the way, you know that many countries in Europe are still doing business with the Russians for oil because they're reliant on Russia's oil. Isn't that weird? So we hate you, but not so much that we're going to go green. Anyway, the United States is committed to ensuring that no asset, no matter how complex, they say complex, becomes a mechanism for the Putin regime to offset the impact of sanctions. Really? So for years, they've told us that Bitcoin is nothing. It's dust. It doesn't exist. It's fake. It's cheap. It's not real. It's nerd money. It's imaginary internet, dust, fairy, whimsy. But now it's super important and we have to like clamp down. No mining in Russia because Russia could, change $38 a day into get off the gas. What do you think, Eric? Is this going to solve? Is this what's going to finally bring Putin to his knees?
I don't believe so. I don't know what's going to bring Putin to his knees, but it seems, crazy, I guess. You don't like it? Yeah? The guy's what?
Well, this just seems silly. I mean, I don't know. I've never talked about BitRiver, but it's just this is the large swath. This is the large ridiculous swath. I
learn new words every day, Nick. Love it.
Swath? You never heard of the word swath?
No, I don't have the largest vocabulary, but I'm learning daily every time I'm on a show with you. It's great. Crypto and expanding on the vocabulary.
Well, if swath expanded your vocabulary, then you and I are going to have a private class.
Okay.
A private vernacular class.
Fair. Well, there's another one.
Should we talk Coinbase NFTs?
Yeah, I was just making my way over there. Here, Coinbase unveils a social NFT marketplace. This could be huge. I mean, could this be what shuts down and takes over OpenSea? The marketplace is akin to Instagram, featuring an algorithmic feed that displays content appealing to the user. So this is kind of cool. I like the thought. I like the idea of what could happen here.
So I got my little beta. Did you get your email yesterday?
I mean, I get a lot of emails. Could have been in spam. I did not see it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been in spam, so you probably weren't on the list. Oh, but anyway, had you been on the list?
Totally in spam.
Yeah, it's not spam. Had you been on the list, you would have gotten a beta invite to Coinbase. You know what? I would forward you the email, but it did say don't forward the email because not everybody's invited, especially Brerick. So
it's fine.
I don't know if that was aimed at you. That's what it said in the email. Don't give to Brerick, specifically highlighted. Because he doesn't have the cognitive capacity to deal with this new amazing NFT marketplace managed by Coinbase. So
don't worry, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
Look, you probably scored a victory by not being on their list. I don't know if this is good or bad. Coinbase does have a lot of influence. They do have a lot of reach. Coinbase said more features will be added in the coming months. Well, that's good because right now the features are nothing. There's no features. It's just like a little kind of dumb little chat thing. But anyway, whatever. They're going to include drops, minting, the option to purchase NFTs with a Coinbase account or credit card. Enter degenerate gambling. Transaction costs involved with the sale or purchase of NFTs will be waived for a limited time. Mass onboarding, bro, with plans to introduce fees later. Well, they're going to have to do more than that to convince a bunch of people that already don't like Coinbase, which is like the OpenSea looks rare community. They don't have any desire to work with Coinbase. But Coinbase is an on-ramp for a lot of other people that might not otherwise look at the degenerate gambling space known as the NFT space. So I guess that's good, kind of. It's kind of like taking a bunch of maybe like religious people on a bus and rerouting the bus into Las Vegas and be like, come on in. Here, everybody, stay here for the night. Here's some free money. Go gamble. So I don't know, but we'll see. U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase unveiled the beta version of its NFT marketplace, putting rivals such as OpenSea and Rarible on notice. And you know what? Let's see. OpenSea, the executives there, I think they yawned the entire day yesterday. One long yawn. Like when a cat yawns and the cat's like, and just walks off and you're like, what? It's kind of like that. No one is scared, not really, of Coinbase NFT. Now, Coinbase does have a big, giant group of compliant rubes they can market to. Coinbase is a great on-ramp for crypto. I still use it. A lot of times I'll push money from my bank account to Coinbase and I'll buy some assets, or I'll buy Ethereum, or I'll buy Bitcoin, and then I'll push it into like private wallets and stuff like that. So Coinbase, you can't overlook that they have a huge, giant, compliant email list, which is important. However, the NFT space is not that group. The NFT space is a completely separate, degenerate gambling psychopath group of people that don't always do math so much. So I don't know if anybody in the however, that being said, Coinbase could cultivate their own group, their own kind of internal market of NFTs. And part of that will be what's their version of an NFT marketplace? What does it look like? Does it look like OpenSea? Does it look like LooksRare? Does it look like Nifty Gateway? Is it a mixture? My guess is Coinbase was actually smart in doing this. I think this is a benefit for Coinbase. I think this is good for Coin, the equity. So is it good for the NFT space? Well, any eyeballs are probably good. Are you going to get more informed information from Coinbase? I think probably so. So I think, donuts to donuts, I think probably this ends up being a better experience than OpenSea, which is it's Wild West. What do you think, Eric? What do you think about Coinbase NFT and them creating an NFT marketplace?
I mean, I think your point on how it's just going to bring more exposure, having a mailing list of people that are into crypto, maybe have been on the fence about NFTs, like you say, it's the Wild Wild West or gambling. I think it's going to get a lot of those people involved. I know me, when I got into crypto, it was like I was comfortable with Coinbase. Then I had to learn about MetaMask. I had to learn about staking, other platforms, and it's scary. You kind of want to do everything in one place. So for people that are like I was in the beginning, comfortable on Coinbase or Coinbase Pro, they're going to be able to then dive into this NFT experience without having to go and make a MetaMask and connect. I think it's going to be really big, to be honest. There's a lot of money to be spent there on NFTs for people that just want to have it all in one place.
Yeah, I think Coinbase, there's a lot of things I don't like about Coinbase, but it is a real company.
True.
And OpenSea is not a real company. And LooksRare is trying to be a real company, but they're kind of like half companies, half creepy. They're not really companies. They're people in the NFT space launching weird software products that tend to get broken, perverted, looted on a pretty regular basis. So we'll see. Now, luckily, LooksRare has not had any big faux pas like that. Their problem is going to be getting any kind of adoption. This is not good for LooksRare. This is quite frankly really bad for LooksRare. It's not good for OpenSea. It's probably good for Nifty Gateway, because Nifty Gateway, and I'm not a big fan of the Winklevi. However, the one thing they have done really well is Nifty Gateway is a good place to go buy quality NFT artwork if you want to gamble on NFT artwork on JPEGs. So if you want to be a JPEG trader, Nifty Gateway is where you'll find quality art. OpenSea is a secondary market, okay? LooksRare is a tertiary market, right? Because everyone goes to OpenSea first, and maybe they might go to LooksRare. But other than wash trading, I haven't done anything on LooksRare. It's cool. I love the token. I'm making money off of it. But if someone held a gun to my head and said Coinbase or LooksRare or OpenSea, I'd be like, Coinbase. So I think this is good for Coinbase for a variety of reasons. In their words, we want Coinbase NFT to be a place that helps creators and collectors build and engage their communities. There's going to be a much bigger social aspect to this. So they're saying, listen, where are the communities for the NFT space? Well, they end up being on Discord, right? You build a big Discord and all that. So Coinbase kind of looked at this, I think, in a pretty thoughtful way and said, maybe this makes sense to bring it all into one place. Instead of looking at an NFT, going over to Discord, hoping you're clicking on the right links. Maybe you click the right one. Maybe you click the wrong one. All this kind of stuff. They say, look, why don't we just bring the social aspect, bring the NFT marketplace, connect it to an exchange, and voila. So it's kind of interesting. We'll see. The new marketplace is akin to Instagram, featuring an algorithmic feed that displays content appealing to individuals by matching featured creators such as Doodles and Azuki. Azuki is actually pretty cool. Doodles is like whatever. It's kind of cool art. I don't mind it, but these are all just random flash in the pan, whatever. The NFT space is here to stay. It will be with us for many years, forever maybe. However, I think it will be a lot different. A year from now, I don't think there'll be as much, profile picture flipping and all the kind of degenerate, gambly kind of garbage that's going on now. I think it will be much more like tickets, movie tickets, concert tickets, airline, this, that, passes, coupons, all that kind of stuff, legal documents, parking tickets, all that kind of stuff. You'll get a digital file. that has a unique serial number attached to it and some kind of provenance, and welcome to the new world of NFTs. You won't probably be doing, handing papers to people and all that kind of stuff. The whole notary business could go non-fungible, and I think that'd be incredibly valuable. The whole mortgage industry, title checking, like there's all sorts of industries that would do better if they just got rid of paper, right? So I think if you deal in paper, if you have a market that prints stuff or whatever, your days are probably quite numbered. And that may have other implications for a whole bunch of other industries and businesses that currently exist that you might be invested in. So there we go. All right, on to the next one.
On to the next one. We have this one here about Cardano. We need something happening in Cardano. The developer shares updates regarding Vasil hard fork. What is this even about?
So there's a lot of updates. So this is a big kind of update cycle. The biggest one coming is the summer, and and I will tell you about it, but essentially they have these kind of hard fork events. Now, the cool thing about Cardano is when they do a hard fork, it doesn't nuke the platform. You don't have to go reissue tokens or have a second token and all this kind of stuff. They are backwards compatible and essentially retroactive, meaning you don't have to do anything. Things are fine. That's the cool thing about Cardano. So they worked a lot of these weirdnesses out in the early days. Well, Cardano developer and researcher discussed, so IOHK, or IOG now, discussed the details of the Vasil hard fork and the major milestones. So the developer, who goes by the Twitter handle, who cares, covered all the major talking points in a series of tweets focusing on the release of this new hard fork, which is scheduled for the 29th of June of this year, which is cool. So that's not too far away. We're almost May, then June. So we're 2 months and a few days away. These are based on a variety of Cardano improvement proposals, CIPs, included in the hard fork were the most anticipated elements of the event. So there are Plutus scripts. Plutus is the smart contract language that manages the platform on the Cardano blockchain. It enables NFTs, decentralized apps, native assets, on-chain conditional logic, meaning building out all sorts of very complex things running on Cardano. So that's cool. Plutus programs slowing down throughput. So he does a deep dive into how Plutus contracts are programmed and explains how the contracts initially written in the language Haskell are converted step by step into binary code that is understandable by the computer. He sums up the process and explains that once the code generates the transaction on chain, a DEX, decentralized exchange, or a DeFi user, like those of us participating, can interact with the Plutus script by signing the transaction with your private keys. The transaction is then submitted and executed. So this is kind of like this whole process. You say, well, why do I care how it works? You care how it works because they're going to clean up a lot of this process and just make it more elegant. So that is important. So they're essentially improving throughput and they're increasing the decentralized nature of the platform. He points out that they will make the transactions bigger, resulting in slightly higher fees that will decrease output, which CIP 33 improves by enabling smaller addresses for users that can be included in the transactions. Okay, this is all nebulous nitty-gritty. All it means is they're going to be pushing more information, which at first would seem to be more expensive because more data, but they're finding ways to chop it up into little bits and clean and make it more elegant so that things are cheaper, faster, more decentralized. There's the SIP 40 upgrade, which introduces collateral outputs. They have input endorsers. They have all these kind of cool things that you'll probably hear coming up in the near-term future. Essentially, in combination with these parameter adjustments, these features will enhance Cardano's throughput and optimize the system to accommodate an increasing range of decentralized financial applications, smart contracts, and DEXs. That's what we want, right? We want more DeFi. At least as an investor, you want DeFi. I don't really care about DeFi. I want governance as a service. I want Africa, Central and South America. But right now, people want DeFi. They don't know what they want, but that's what they want. And so that's where we're at. Kind of interesting. Eric, your thoughts?
Fairly interesting. Nothing crazy.
Do you want DeFi? Do you DeFi, bro?
I don't care about DeFi. I don't, to be honest. You know what I care more about? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, go on. Go on.
I can't. You mentioned, and I'm still stuck on the last story about So you say that LooksRare is going to greatly suffer. But with that being said, the LooksRare token actually had a major jump in the last 24 hours. Can we jump into the market review and kind of look into that a little bit?
Sure. Do you know why?
I don't. And well, why?
Well, they made a new, remember X2Y2 had this process where if you listed, they did the same thing. Okay. They have a thing where they take in, so you get paid fees, trading fees. And let me just go to the LooksRare token. Nothing. Okay, look, the market recap is easy. Bitcoin is up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It was down a few days ago. It's up today. All right, so let's take a look at Looks. Let's throw that bad boy up there. Okay, so it took a move just recently, and you say, well, why? Well, why is it so crazy? Well, as a matter of fact, let me just explain this. Okay, so you have listing and trading as a kind of rewards thing. Now, they used to pay you some Looks tokens based on doing transactions, like if you sold or bought NFTs. Cool, man, and there was a lot of wash trading. Well, now what they're doing is they're taking part of those rewards and they're giving you rewards for listing if it's a top 24 collection, I believe it is. You go to collections, and you go down, you say, oh, is my collection on? Do I own one of these pieces? And if I do, if I list it and it's only 1.5% or less above the floor over at OpenSea, well, then I get paid every 10 minutes. I might get some tokens, which is not so exciting. To me, all it did was lower the actual reward fees that you get. Right? Because now it's down to 212. It's been fluctuating. Anyway, this is another attempt, and it's not a coincidence that it came out on the same day that Coinbase released their NFT marketplace. This is not an accident. The people at LooksRare didn't go, oh my God, did Coinbase do that today too? That's crazy because we did something today. Like, this is clearly an attempt to kind of bury the headline or whatever. So we'll see. So that created some enthusiasm, which is great because many of us still own the token and we're still getting paid rewards, which is cool. But if you were going to compete head to head and, if you're going to put your money on LooksRare or Coinbase, like, how would you gamble?
Is that
I don't know, what would you?
That's not even a question. I mean, LooksRare is a startup with a great reward system, which is why everyone's jumping into it. Coinbase already has a massive following of people, but Coinbase isn't going to offer the kind of rewards that we're seeing over here in LooksRare, which is what's pulling people in. But is it pulling people in to sell their NFTs on LooksRare or just to stake their coin?
It's pulling people in to list their NFTs.
Yeah.
In order to get some staking rewards. It's an effort. It's a marketing ploy. It's a this, it's a that. Look, they created the Looks tokens out of thin air. They are using them to incentivize the kind of behavior they want on the platform. I hope it works because we own some of the tokens.
Is it wrong for me to hope they go back to $7 before I sell all of my profits?
Absolutely not. I am right there with you. Although if we get anywhere over $3 before the rewards readjust, bro, I am out.
And when is that readjustment time again? It's mid-month next month, right?
May 11th or May 10th or May 11th.
Okay.
But you can expect a lot of people to start exiting the token before then. Now, if a lot of people exit the token, that would leave less people in the pool, which would jack your rewards up. So you may want to wait and play it right at the very edge. It depends where you are. Hopefully you've taken your original investment off the table. And I've been warning people, look, you do you, but me, I'm not opening a position in Looks.
Not now.
At all right now. Yeah, you got to wait.
Yeah.
You got to wait.
See what the next staking system looks like and make a decision. See what the token goes down to.
Give it a few days and see how the staking rewards readjust. So anyway, it's $1.97, it's $2. My guess is when the newness and excitement of this shiny announcement wears off and people do the math, I mean, there were already people gaming it yesterday, right? Like, so most people don't own a top 25 project. Most people are not completely degenerate gamblers, right? So if you do, and if you are, good luck to you. You can get some extra rewards on your JPEG. But for the rest of us, this is something to look at. It's very interesting, but I would stay away from it. All right. And my guess is this price continues to deteriorate into May. Okay. Other things that I thought were interesting. Well, NewNet, for those of you that don't remember, please, you can still go register. Can you see? I think you can see that pretty good, right? So,
yeah, we got
Eric, you have AGIX, do you not?
I do.
Did you register?
I collected my first round of rewards about a month ago, just because I wanted to see what the process was. Gas was super low, so I collected my rewards. Super easy in my MetaMask account. It's gone up 50% since then, which is cool. With that being said, I haven't. No, I went there the other day. I actually have it bookmarked here on my computer.
Well, you have to do it today, tomorrow, or the next day. You have a few days to do this.
Yes,
so if you have AGIX not on a private exchange, if you have it on a private exchange, does not apply to you. You don't get it. If you have it in a MetaMask wallet, or if you have it staked through MetaMask at SingularityNet, you must go to this website, newnet-airdrop.singularitynet.io. I think we talked about this Tuesday, but you have to go and you have to connect your wallet and you have to register for airdrop number 2. Yeah. If you do not do that, you do not get tokens.
Right. And this is my screen right now, and you can see I did not register. So it shows that green register now button. So I will register now.
Let's see it happen. This is exciting.
Oh no, it's cut off the screen. I need to readjust here. This is all spur of the moment. I want to make sure that we get it right here.
Who else is excited? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, well, I'm afraid we're gonna get popped off the screen or whatnot, but
of my
seat. Let me adjust this here. Here we go. We'll get our faces out of the way. That's fine. I'm gonna sign the contract. Hopefully I don't give anything away here, Nick. I don't want to get lose all my stuff. But we're gonna sign. Well, that's it. It's done. It literally just connected my MetaMask and brought up the congratulations. I've registered for the airdrop. We're good to go.
It's done.
Wow.
It's done.
That was easy.
Wasn't so bad, was it?
I feel like I've contributed now. That was great.
So listen, you guys need, I know, you almost, dollar bill, I agree with you, only I'm 2 steps past that. So make sure, for those of you don't sleep on this because you want your tokens. Tokens are so good. I believe NewNet is a very long-term play. We're not collecting tokens to sell them anytime, at least my opinion. This is a company that's not even going to have a real, like an alpha product until like late next year. You tuck this thing away at a nickel. You come back when it's $1.25 3 years from now, and you go, oh wow, I just made like a 30x on my or a 25x. That's how this is a long-term play. All of the AI plays are long-term plays. Singularity DAO, it's a little bit shorter term because they're trading right now. Their product is active. It's right now trading Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a small basket of other assets successfully. So yeah. All right. So that is that. That is interesting. The NewNet token is getting a little bit of a benefit. My guess is some people I think on the 26th. Okay, so after you register on the 26th, I believe you'll be able to claim those tokens. Some people will, some people will not. I will, because I want to claim mine and I want to stake them. The staking is really good at Singularity DAO. That's where you go and stake these things. And I think the staking, there's a 3-month pool, will be well over 20%. The last one, and I'm not kidding, the last lockup was a 3-month pool. I think it was 104%. So you're getting 26% a quarter. And that's not annualized. That's the return in 3 months. In 90 days, 25%. So you start doing the math, you're like, dang, if I stake them, I'm getting the tokens for less than 4 cents. Super dope. So if you believe in it, if you don't believe in it, then it doesn't matter what they could be showering you with tokens. If you don't believe in it, it's not going to help you. So I do. Okay, cool, man. So that covers that. So anyway, your AI tokens, which I'm very bullish on, but they are a very long-term play. You may be sitting on these things for a year and a half, 2 years before you see any excitement. Now, I will say this, AGIX, do you remember how high this bad boy got in the height of whimsy in last November?
I don't remember, but I'm about to find out. What did it get to?
It got to
65 cents.
Yeah, it was 65, 66 cents.
But we are seeing a bit of a pop now from what we've been seeing since October. It's been consistently down. Now at least we're getting a little bit of a rise.
Yeah. Now, big cap, and this is a question that a lot of people have. Do you collect your NewNet tokens? You need to do the math. If you're going to collect the tokens, make sure that the Ethereum fees associated are not more than the token. So for instance, if it costs you $50 to do a transaction, but you're not pulling $50 worth of tokens, don't do it. Right? So if it's at 5 cents and you're not taking more than 5,000 tokens, it would not make sense to spend, because you don't need to collect the tokens right now. All you need to do is register. You can collect the tokens anytime between now and the end of, the end of November. Okay. So you don't have to rush to claim. You do have to do the registration. Okay. And also, if you have a bigger pile than the Ethereum fees, it would then make sense to claim the tokens and stake them. But again, that's going to be another Ethereum transaction. Matter of fact, it's going to be 3. One to claim the tokens, another Ethereum transaction to verify the staking contract, another Ethereum transaction. I know Ethereum sucks. Another Ethereum transaction to actually stake the tokens. Now,
so do it in the middle of the night, typically.
Yeah, do it in the middle of the night, or just make sure you're staking a large amount of tokens, or just wait. Now, on the other side of it, they do have a bridge now to convert AGIX to the Cardano AGIX token, NewNet to the Cardano NewNet token, Singularity. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Should you do it? No. Don't do anything other than register your wallet. You can make the decision to claim the tokens later. You can make the decision to stake in that. But the only thing you got to do right now, must do it, is you must do what Eric just did and register so that you get the benefit of the airdrop. Now, it would be in my best interest to tell you not to do it, because there's 4 airdrops throughout the year. The last airdrop consists of all of the people that screwed up from the first 3 getting booted out. They don't get anything in number 4. Number 4 is for the people that have been here since the beginning and have not moved their tokens around and have not done anything to jeopardize their airdrop. So number 4 airdrop is going to be way fewer people and much higher reward. Whoa.
Ooh, but you are just such a nice guy, Nick. You want everyone here on Monday Morning Live.
I want you all to win. I want you all to have Lamborghinis.
Yes.
Did you know the 20,000th? There's only 20,000 Lamborghini Huracans. It just rolled off the line this morning.
You bought, and you already own it, right?
No, but I get these messages directly from Lamborghini that say the 20,000th Huracan just rolled off the line. You're like, oh, okay. I guess that's yes.
Hey, quick question, anyway, off topic. Yep. I know that you have all your cars that you rent out to people, a nice little side business you have going on. With the market for vehicles and how inflated it was, could you make a ton of money just selling all your cars because of the enhanced value they have right now?
Yeah, but it's kind of like the housing market. That's like saying, man, I could make so much money in my overpriced house. Cool, but where are you going to live?
Yeah.
Where are you going to live?
You'd be selling your whole business essentially, right?
Yeah, to go buy other inflated cars.
Right.
And the other thing too is because the exotic cars are very difficult to get. Like even if you want one, you can't just go get one. Mm-hmm. And if you do go get one, you're going to pay, right? Like if you want a $330,000 Lamborghini, you're going to pay $400K for it. No ifs, ands, or buts. No way around it. So it's got some ghastly Carfax.
So the best way is to go rent from Nick Black's Cars R Us in California.
Well, the best way is to go and actually order one. And if you have to pay a down payment of $5 to $10K, do it. Reserve the car. Go and order one. And when they deliver, between the time that you order and deliver, which could be, 9 months, 8 months, 6 months, you can resell the car and then you get the premium, that 30 to 40 to 60K.
You find a way to make money everywhere, Nick.
I mean, there's money in the couch cushions, bro. You just got to look.
Hey, you want to get into some crypto Q&A? Or are there any other assets? We should. Oh, great.
Not really. The market's up because Bitcoin's up, and that's really all there is. That's all there is to say about
I hear
that.
you. All right, well then let's get into here, Forrest. Crypto volatility from Bita55. Nick, do you see a lot of volatility coming from the crypto markets? I think that's a pretty easy one to answer.
Brick, would you like to answer that?
There's always volatility in the crypto market. Even when things are stable, it's still volatile. I think that, the other day I opened up my account and I said, to show my wife, I'm like, look, we're doing all right. Literally 24 hours later, it was down like $10,000, which is a sizable amount for my account. And, it's just ups and downs. And I've learned to just not look at it as much because it makes you sick, honestly. So volatility is a thing.
And we don't want to make you think that we're paying lip service to your question, Bita. Illiquid assets on illiquid exchanges being traded by sketchy investors, being pimped on the markets by VCs that don't care about anything but making a quick buck, and hedge funds that are going to blow up every 3 to 7 years, no matter what they do. So there is a lot of very perverse incentive kind of infused in the market. But as the market grows, this volatility should start to calm down a bit as we approach what looks like a real market, but we're not there yet.
Thanks, Nick. You made it much more.
There's so much opportunity. Yeah.
Much more professional sounding than I did, but yes.
No, yours was good too. Yours was good. Yours
Thanks.
Was like street. You learned it in the streets, bro.
I learned it here on the Monday Morning Live streets. We have a question from Carlos A about AGIX liquidity. We were just on that discussion. What's your opinion on providing liquidity for AGIX?
No.
That's it.
So what happened? Yeah, don't. When you have an asset that has a potential to appreciate and you provide liquidity, if the asset appreciates, you're going to suffer impermanent loss. You always lose on those deals. There's no benefit, none, zero, zilch, nada, to taking an asset that can't appreciate and parking it into a liquidity pool to liquidity farm. Because as they arbitrage those pools, basically what happens is if you have two assets, the asset that goes up in value gets arbitrated by the less in value, or like a stable coin. And then so you end up with more of the stable coin. As the other asset goes up, it gets arbitrated back. As the asset goes up, it gets arbitrated back. And you end up with a bunch of the stable coin, only less of the coin that's going up. So it's just, to me, it's not worth it. You will eat a bunch of impermanent loss, meaning your account balance is the same, but you don't get any of the value increase in the high flyer token. So I would stay away from it.
Thank you. And that brings us to our next question about stablecoin needs from AJ1. Why do we even need stablecoins?
Well, you need stablecoins because it's nice to have some relative asset to the real world. If we deal in dollars, it makes sense to have a stable dollar, a digital stable dollar. Now, eventually we will have US stable dollars issued by the government. That'd be better than, ones issued out of somebody's garage in the Bahamas, which is what USDT is. It's junk, right? It's 2% capitalized, meaning for every $100 of USDT, there's 2 actual US dollars. And the rest of it is WeWork accounting, right? Just nebulous stuff. So we need collateralized stable coins because it makes sense. Sometimes you want to move back into a stable asset. And in the future, you may want to move into stable assets as kind of like to get to that's essentially getting to the sidelines, right? Okay, I'm going to get to the sidelines. I think the market's going to pull back, whatever. Now that gets into gambling and speculating. I don't do this. What I do is I keep a little stable coin. And if I see a market sell off, I'll push it into assets as I build up my position of the assets that I already like. I don't go Bitcoin into stablecoin, back to Bitcoin. The only place that would even occur is if I'm selling calls against Bitcoin on a derivatives exchange. And then in that specific case, I might get called out of Bitcoin if it pulls a runner and push back into cash, and I'll immediately sell puts against that cash. That's a different animal. So stablecoin is kind of like a little bucket of future investment money that you might have to rebalance assets.
There you go. Thanks for the explanation. Before I get to the next comment, which I actually pulled from the chat right now, I want to remind everyone that just in 30 minutes, Mega Profits Tom Gentile's event is happening. Remember, it's not going to be live here in the main room. You have to go register from the link above, and you'll get an email with the link to that show. Remember, it's not live. Tom won't be there live, but it's something you're not going to want to miss. So why don't you head on over there now, click the link, register, because you don't want to miss out, because, well, that's your opportunity. I've given you so many opportunities. But getting into our, I said I had a question from the chat. Here it is. I found it, Nick. It's from John C. Guys, I appreciate everything you share. That's us, Nick. He appreciates us. That's nice. Can you go over how to check when buying if NFTs are stolen? I'm learning from you, but I had an NFT stolen and notified OpenSea and LooksRare. Can you give us some information? Nothing.
Other than just tell people it's stolen. There's not much you can do. That's the thing. I mean, these platforms like LooksRare, they're not exchanges. They're just a veneer. It's just a way for you to transact the token. Somebody owns it, you bought it, or somebody pilfers your account and they sold it. There's nothing you can do. There's no way to claw it back. That's the thing about crypto. Who has it owns it. That's it. So that's the dark side of decentralization of these decentralized exchanges, these gateways. Remember, OpenSea and LooksRare, they're not exchanges, not really. They're just places for people to transact these tokens. They're not actually, it's not an exchange. You can't call customer service and complain, hey, I lost my this, I lost my that. If you lose your login information, your stuff's gone. Period, full stop, see you later, bye. It sucks.
It's true.
But it is what it is.
You bring the truth. Why don't we get into one more question before you tell us about your asset of the day, if you have one. Where can you learn how to get into DYNASETS? Or wait, where can they learn?
Go to Singularity DAO. Just Google what is Singularity DAO, DAO, and go down the rabbit hole. And then look up what are DYNASETS. I mean, go to Google and YouTube University. I also did a show. I think it's somewhere in our library. I did an interview with Marcelo and Mario, who the CEO and CTO of SingularityNet, talking about DYNASETS. So that might be a good place to start.
Cool. Well, tell us, Nick, what maybe look back at the market really quickly and let us know, what are you thinking? Where's an opportunity today? What do you think we should be hopping into?
I'm on the sidelines today.
Ooh.
In up days, I've learned that during up days, for me, I just pull back and I just watch. I'm going to be on the sidelines today, probably for the next few days.
And that's fair. I mean, that means that maybe things are a little bit more volatile, even for Nick Black.
I think there's some more down days to be had, but I think we're going to have it's going to be a great year, and I think it's going to be a good summer. I just think right now I want to watch Bitcoin. I'd love to see Bitcoin get back to 50K. I think that's a huge emotional place for a lot of people. And so, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Agreed. Okay, one last question I'm going to grab quickly from the chat before we go. You used to love Paradise Trippies. I know you don't love them anymore. People are asking about Trippies. What's your thought on them really quick?
The team burnout. The artwork is great. You still have the artwork. And as long as you buy stuff that you like the art, nice. You always win. So there's that, right? Buy art that you like. For them building the future, this, that, an island, gambling, all this, they made a lot of promises. I think they just burned out, right? They burned out. And that's the reality.
Fair enough. And that's your show for the day, Nick Black.
That's it, bro. We will do this again tomorrow. Thank you for everybody that hung out with us. Sometimes we don't give everybody credit for showing up and hanging out with us, but we do have a lot of fun. And we like that you guys hang out with us. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk, strung out on meth, grandmother, or Brerick wouldn't do. And with that, I bid you a pew pew. A pew pew. A pew pew.